to Manifest on Purpose. My name is Kimberly Williams. I am a mindset consultant specializing in manifestation. I help you align your mindset with the things that you desire in your life to help you manifest in your life. So what are you waiting for? Come on, let's go. Let's manifest on purpose. Hello, and happy Friday. I hope everything is going great with you. My name is Kimberly Williams. I am the host of the Manifest on Purpose show. I hope all of you had a wonderful week. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful for everybody that comes through. Please don't forget to like, subscribe to this podcast, and share this with others because there may be people that need to hear something that I have to say. For today's topic, I'm going back to my childhood. During my childhood, one of the tunes that was constantly in my head was da-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Can you guess that tune? If you grew up in the 90s and the early 80s, I'm sure you've probably heard that song, that tune somewhere before. This tune was in a lot of the houses that children lived in during these times. It was the classic Nintendo game, Super Mario Brothers. This was the little song that they played throughout the game. I don't know if you would call it a jingle or what it was, but it was the audio that was playing in the background while you were playing Super Mario Brothers. The Nintendo is a video gaming console that was released in 1983. Although it wasn't the first gaming system, this system really took off. Maybe because I was during that generation where it came out that I recognized it most. I remember the Atari being out, but that wasn't so big for me. The Nintendo just took off. It's a game that came with a free game cartridge that included two games, Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Those were the two games that came with it. And this console will hook to your television and you would have a controller and you'd be able to control the characters in order to play the game while watching and listening on your television. I discovered this game when I was living with my grandmother. I discovered this game through my cousin who had one and loved it. He would sometimes bring it over to our house and would allow me to play with him. And that's when I started learning about this game. My grandmother knew nothing about video games, but because my cousin had one, I was able to play with him. I fell in love with this game, especially Super Mario Brothers. I finally was able to convince my grandmother to buy me one. This took some time. I had to ask several times. She probably got tired of me asking for it, but I finally did get that video game. The thing about that was kind of humorous was that during that time, my grandmother had enough for us to get by. She wasn't into buying any extra things, especially spending that type of money on something like a video game. And I had no television of my own to play it with. But my grandmother was determined to get me this video game. She ended up getting me the video game, but she had to get me, or she did get me, a 19-inch black and white TV to play the game on. Can you imagine that? I'm playing Super Mario Brothers on a black and white TV. It was even difficult to get it connected because it didn't even have the new functionalities of the televisions during the time. I would still appreciate it. I had to enjoy it because she got it for me. It wasn't nothing I could really complain about. You know, it was a high-tech game. It was what I asked for. It was just black and white and tiny. I played on this game for hours every day. After school, I went straight for the game. That's how serious it had gotten. And I know this happens a lot. Even now, there's problems with addiction to video games. But even during that time, I would come home and get straight on the game, not even thinking about a snack after school or my homework. I went straight for the game, and my grandmother had to eventually start being more strict on my time that I used with that game. I even had my grandmother to play sometimes. And guys, it was so funny. She jumped every time she wanted the character on the screen jump. Do you know somebody that plays video games like that? I have an uncle like that too, and he actually was trying to make the character on the screen jump, and he jumped out of his chair and fell on the floor. You can imagine what the room sounded like when he got finished. But yeah, she did the same thing. Whenever she wanted her character to jump on the screen, she would go ahead and jump too. At the time, playing that game was so much fun. It was just pure fun. I became good and I became competitive. What I did not know at that time was that this game was really teaching me something. A lot of people were saying staying away from the video games because you're not learning anything. Little did I know I was learning during that time. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. It doesn't say how the teacher has to look like or how the teacher shows up. It just says that once that student is ready, the teacher appears. There are things to learn from every experience that we encounter if the student is willing and ready to learn. Begin to focus on what you can learn from every experience that you have, no matter what it looks like. There's something that you can learn from there. There's something that you can grow from there. Today, I'm going to teach you what I learned from playing Super Mario Brothers. First, a little about the game. The video game comes with a controller that connects directly to the console. The controller controls the character that you are playing in the game. If you want your character to jump, you have to use the configurations on the controller to manipulate your character into doing just that. There is always a primary goal in every game. The primary goal in Super Mario Brothers is to save the princess from the horrible King Koopa. In order to achieve this primary goal, you must beat the preceding levels in the game. Every level that comes before that final level, you must beat. In the case of Mario Brothers, there are 8 worlds. Each world consists of 4 stages that must be beat in order to reach the next world. Each stage and world gets harder as you progress. This is how it relates or translates to me in our lives. You are the controller in this physical reality. The character you are controlling is none other than you. It is the physical you, the part of you that can exist in the physical reality. Each world represents elevation and a new level of consciousness to me. This aligns with consciousness also. Each stage in the game represents shifts in your life. And this is because in the game, in order to get to the next world, you have to learn to navigate the stages first. This is the part that is challenging, because in these stages, you may bust a block with your head, hoping for coins or superpower, but get absolutely nothing. You may have even risked your life trying it out. In the easier stages, it may be easier to beat the stages without getting out. You may be able to run through a whole stage fast, quick, in a hurry, or know everything that's on that stage and get right through it. However, if you don't make it Learn what you need to know about the area giving you difficulty. If there's things that you can't get through in the stages that you're going through in your life, you need to understand these areas. You need to analyze these areas. Figure out why is it giving you difficulty. Once you figure out the solution, apply it and then try it again. Not everybody can get through every stage in just one swipe or one play. On the last stage of each world, it's also a castle you have to go through. This is usually the hardest stage in each world. If you've ever played, you suspect that the princess will finally be saved. That's at every castle that you go through. You go to these castles and you work hard, each stage getting harder than the next, and then you get to the end and you're like, okay, once I finish this one, I'm done. And at the end, when you beat that stage, after probably about 3 or 4 times of trying, you feel so relieved because it's finally done. And then horrible King Koopa says, the princess is in another castle. Guess what that means? It's time to elevate some more. Growth is continuous. Some people get to certain stages of growth in their life and they feel like, I'm where I want to be. I don't want to grow any further. I have everything that I need. But I want you to know that there's always room for more growth. As long as you continue to walk and breathe around here, you are going to be growing. Growth is continuous. Don't be fooled. Don't think that once you grow to a certain point in your life that you can be satisfied with not growing anymore, because that's not going to work for you. Growth is continuous, and as that growth continues, we have to continue to flow in it, and we have to continue to allow it. Have you ever been through shifts relieved that it's all over? I'm done. I'm finished with this. I'll never have to go through it again. Only to find out that there will be more shifts. As I said, in order to grow, you must shift. While I'm discussing shifts, let me explain shifts for those of you who may be new or those of you who have not heard about shifts before, because I don't want you to feel left out. I'm going to tell you what shifts are. We develop habits in life to help us get through whatever stage we're in our life at the moment. The habits could be our mindsets, belief, people, or things. Those are sort of like the security blankets for that moment, the things that we're holding on to get us to the next level. These are what I call shifts, because once it's time to move on, you won't be able to include these things in the next level. Everybody's not going to be able to go with you. Everybody is not going to be able to go with you to the next level. Everything is not going to be able to go with you on the next level. Certain habits will keep you from making it to that next level. These mindsets will keep you from making it to the next level. They may even be holding you back. In order to grow, you have to let that shift go. Let those things go that are no longer serving the purpose. Most of the time, these are things that we've been holding on to because they helped us get through something before, or they helped us in a moment that we needed them when we were on another level. But when you moved up to the different level, these things or people were not able to raise up to that level too. So right now, they're not serving any purpose in your life. And when I say people, I'm talking about toxic people, toxic relationships, relationships that are hurting you instead of helping you. These are shifts. You have to let them go. In the final world Super Mario Brothers World 8. This is where you finally get to the princess. All of this hard work, all of King Koopa lies telling you that the princess was in another castle every time. This world right here, the World 8, represents your intention becoming manifest. This right here is where you've achieved the goal. You've gotten to the point where you want to be at. Your intentions are not going to remain the same. Your intentions are going to change as you grow and change. In a nutshell, what this game has taught me is that we're all on a journey here. Sometimes the teachers are the shifts in our lives. The shifts are not the bad guys. You can choose to look at these shifts as problems or challenges, but that will only keep you where you are in the present moment, where you are right now, the same place that you want to get out of. If you look at those shifts as opportunities to grow, you can learn the many lessons that they may be trying to teach you. You can actually use these opportunities to help push you upward, move you in an upward going motion. The cool thing about the Nintendo is that it led to people creating cheat codes. They used to come in books. In these cheat codes, you could get extra men, or you may have been able to skip worlds, or they had different little perks with these cheat codes. I love the book personally. We used to just go through and look for cheat codes. They had them not just for Super Mario Brothers, but they had them for all games. Anyway, today, sticking on topic, I just want to give you a few cheat codes for this game that we play. First cheat code is choose the right character. Determine what your needs and wants are. Recreate yourself as the character that has that. Does your mindset align with your desired life? In order to know that, you have to figure out what your desired life is. If your mindset does not align with your desires, recreate yourself to be that character. The next cheat code is become aware of your habits, patterns, and shifts. You know when things feel off in your life. It's no need in thinking that you can get away with that. You already know when things are not going as planned, if things are not feeling right for you, you know when things are off. As soon as you become aware of that and know that there is a change that's happening in your life, right then begin to analyze it and find the opportunity in it for growth. What is happening to me? Why is this happening to me? When is this happening to me? Where is this happening to me? Who is involved in this situation? And how can I get through it? My next cheat code for you is to remain the controller. Don't get me wrong, advice is good. Use it as it applies to you. Don't use any advice that does not relate to you or does not apply to your life. You know your life better than anybody else's. Most importantly, do not relinquish your control to anybody else. Don't let other people try to run your life for you. No one can live your life better than you, and that's true. The next cheat code is, and we've already talked about this before, let that shift go. I left out one crucial detail about the game. In the game, you have a certain amount of time to complete each stage. I think it was a few minutes or so. If you did not complete the stage within that time, you would get out and have to start all over again. In the easier stages, it may be easy for you to find coins and to have enough time to beat the end of the stage. But for some of the harder stages, you just had to get through it the best you can. So you just had to go really fast. You didn't have time to worry about if there's a few extra coins here or there's a few extra coins there. Sometimes you just want to hurry up and beat the stage. Sometimes you just got to move through the stage as fast as you could to beat the time. There are things you are going to have to leave behind. And we already discussed this earlier, and that's that. It's some things that you're going to have to leave behind. Some people hold on to these things, and that's not good. There are some things that are not going to be worth your time to get. Remember, your main focus is to beat that stage. That's your focus at that moment. It would be nice if you could get the extras that go along with it, or everything that you want could be able to go with you. But if not, remember, that's not your primary focus. Your primary focus is to beat the game. The next cheat code that I have is don't quit. Keep going. No matter how difficult things seem to you right now, don't give up. Know that whatever you are doing, whatever you're going through, is only leading you or pushing you to another level. If at first you don't succeed, try it again. Delay is not a stop sign. It only means proceed with caution. Caution meaning open your eyes. There's something better. I know you may have set your intentions on what you want. What you will get is going to be the upgraded package. Let things flow and practice patience and mindfulness. Who would have thought that I would have learned so much about video games back in those days? Guess what? You and your life is like that video game. You are that controller, and you are the one controlling your destiny. There's somebody out there that may need a message like this. Somebody may be looking for something like this, that are going through shifts and don't know how to deal with them, that are trying to manifest but just don't know how to get it all together. Share this podcast with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe yourself. And I have some good news. I have an amazing experience coming on Monday's episode. It's going to be amazing. Be sure to tune in and be prepared to invite happiness in your life. Until next time, I love you to life, and don't forget, manifest on purpose.